Hey everybody, welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. My name is Josie.
I'm Cheyenne.
And you guys have probably been wondering, or at least we hope you're wondering where we've been. Now, we've been gone a lot longer than we thought we were going to. In fact, we didn't really plan to be gone at all.
Right.
But Vacation Bible School really got a hold of us. We attend a small church with an older congregation. Now we go to a relatively small church that's located just down the road from us. We've went to this church for years and years, and we love our church. It is a small congregation, an older congregation. We did have quite a few more than we did, but I'll be honest with you, there were several that passed away from COVID, and then we've lost people over the years, and so relatively small congregation, and not as many helpers as you really wish, or volunteers that you wish you would have for Vacation Bible School. And I'm over the top with Bible School, and I realize that I have that issue, but I really like for the kids to have an experience when they go to Bible School. And we usually transform our sanctuary and our kitchen areas depending on what the theme is. We try to really make it look wild, or not necessarily wild, but beyond just the little posters on the wall, like Vacation Bible School. When I was a little kid, we try to transform it, and so that takes a lot of work. It really would be better if we had a lot of volunteers, but we worked with the staff that we did. Cheyenne and I worked hard. Our pastor's daughter worked really hard, and we had some other people in our church that volunteered and brought things for us to use. It was some of you probably used the same theme in your church that we did, and we transformed the church into an Alaskan wilderness. And so we had animals, and we had a river, we had a waterfall, we had all kinds of stuff. And so really it took us about a week of working all week long, decorating, getting ready, and it was so hot and humid outside. And then of course the next week was our favorite part, Vacation Bible School, where we worked and we wore several hats. The pastor's daughter, Crystal, our friend, she wore several hats. There were others at the church that volunteered to pick kids from point A to point B, and we had to juggle the game schedule because of it being so hot. We went to totally water games just to keep them cool. But it was fun, and we really enjoyed ourselves. After the 2 weeks, we were so tired. We were wore out, but very blessed to be able to minister to people's children, that they trusted us with their little kids. And I told them their Bible story, and to watch their little faces as they realized that Jesus could be trusted in all the ways that they needed in their lives, when they were afraid, when they didn't feel like they had any power, when they were alone, all these different things, all the different points that Bible School brought out. It was wonderful to see that on their faces when they realized. And sometimes we don't realize that there are children that feel alone because there's something going on in their family. Maybe mom and daddy's having problems. I saw children that responded to being bullied, and different things that sometimes we kind of push it aside because everybody talks about it, and we think, oh, it doesn't really affect us. But we learned in a small group that those things really affected those children in a great way, and that really touched my heart, and I'm sure it touched Cheyenne, and she was kind of like the runner. She went here, there, and everywhere, putting out fires, and because I was busy, telling the story, and so she was trying to run the sound system and do all of these different things. And as I said, Crystal, she was same way. Crystal was trying.
She's our singer and our dancer.
Yeah, she was doing the music and the hand motions, not really dancing, but hand motions. And so we had a lot of fun. But on Saturday morning after Bible School, when we were all looking forward to really sleeping in, when I woke up, Howie was coughing and sounded hoarse, and he got sick. Fast forward to Monday of last week, and it started to go through the entire family.
I caught it, and you got it.
Yeah.
Kate never really caught it. He had a snotty nose, but that was about it as far as how he acted.
But and now we're busy. We thought we had a handle on it yesterday. Everybody started feeling better. We're still kind of congested a little bit, and kind of, we went through a lot of Kleenexes and all that kind of stuff, but feeling better. trying to catch the laundry up because after the laundry was horrible with 2 weeks of Bible school, and we were really gung ho to get in there and get all that done. That didn't happen. We laid around and blew our noses and said, "Oh, I'm so sick," and all of that kind of stuff. And the blankets piled up, and the towels piled up, and all of this stuff piled up all through the week. And so yesterday, or
last night.
What's today? Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Monday and Tuesday, we got in and started really hammering stuff out, getting laundry caught up and getting other projects caught up so that we could get back on here and spend time with you all. And we've got a lot of exciting things that we want to bring you. And everything was going really good. We had our supper ready. Everybody got to sit down at the dinner table together because it's been a long while since we were able to do that. So we got the supper table ready. We sat down for supper. We were having tacos and Mexican corn and all the trimmings and all that. And Howie had been playing all day. And up until supper time, they had been playing in the floor, playing a little game together. Howie and Rowdy were. Everybody got seated. Everybody got
Their plates made.
Plates made, said the prayer, started eating. And we probably a couple of minutes. And I know a couple of times I heard Howie breathing, and I thought, that sounds funny. And so I really started paying attention to him. And he was really shivering. And then I think Cheyenne you noticed that I
shaking.
And so as we started, continued with our supper, it was obvious that something wasn't right. And so we ended up going to the emergency room, and I'll let Cheyenne tell you Howie's symptoms and how, we've already been through this before. And we worried about it a little bit.
Yeah. He started shaking, and all he could ask was, "What's Rara doing?" And that's all he was saying.
That's what he calls Rowdy.
Yeah. He was saying, "What's Rara doing?" So Blade was like, "Oh, he's all right." And so I just watched him for a minute, and I realized that it was more than just he was cold.
Rubbing his eyes.
Yeah. He kept saying, "My eyes hurt." And so I went over there, and I could tell he was running a fever. So I went and got the thermometer. His fever was 103.6. So I gave him some Tylenol, and I was like, I'll wait it out for just a little bit longer. So, but then I picked him up, and his whole body was stiff. He could move, but he was stiff. And if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that about 2 years ago.
Almost to the exact date.
No, almost 3 years ago. He wasn't even 1 yet when it happened. He was fixing to turn 1. So was it 3? No, it was 2. Mm-hmm. Sorry, 2 years ago. Almost to about 15 days out from the day, probably. This same virus that Howie has is what Rowdy caught. It caused him to seize. They caused him to have a febrile seizure and put him in the hospital with pneumonia. So when I saw him shaking, I really worried about it. So after I gave him Tylenol, and I was like, something's not right. Well, at first, when he started talking about his eyes, I thought he was hallucinating because his fever was so high. But we slowly started to realize it wasn't. His eyes were red, so we could tell they were just bothering him.
Now, this is a hereditary condition in our family. It goes back several generations have had this issue, and it's some have had seizures and some have had hallucinations. And so with this virus that Howie has, that is something that can happen is febrile seizures.
So finally I was like, what Blade was like, just take him to the hospital. So I took him to the ER, we got in there, and
they were busy.
And the first
really
thing I seen on the sign before you walk in the door was measles. It was a measles caution.
There's been a measles outbreak here, I suppose. I didn't know it.
We didn't either until we got to the hospital. And every symptom on the list was one that Howie had. So I instantly was like, oh no,
she panicked from the start.
So we got in there, checked him in, sat down, took him back there, told her all what was going on. They said to spread out in the waiting room. And probably right before we went in to see the actual doctor, he broke his fever finally. He was still red, but you could tell he was feeling better. Went in there, and she said it's probably just para-influenza is what she called it, which is kind of like just like a cold, really. But it can cause bronchitis, croup, and pneumonia in littles and elderly people. She swabbed him, and it come back the adenovirus, which is, like I said, is what Rowd had 2 years ago that caused him to have a febrile seizure. And she said there's not anything you can really do. Fluids, rest, and wiping his nose and staying clean. And so that's where we're at. They're actually laying down, taking a
Wiping
nap.
3 little noses constantly.
They're actually laying down and getting rest. Howie doesn't like the fact or understand why he has to rest to feel better, but we'll get there.
Now, I will say we're very, very thankful that this didn't go into a hospital stay with him like it did with Rowdy. What happened with Rowdy is when he was seizing, some of that fluid got into his lungs and caused pneumonia. And with his complications that he's had when he was first born, he just couldn't fight it, and he had this happen to him. Like we said, it was almost 2 years ago. Same kind of hot weather, all of the things, and their little bodies just couldn't fight off the virus and couldn't fight off the high fever. And so thankfully Howie got to come home. There wasn't a hospital stay. In fact, there's not even medication. It's just like she said, fluids and rest. And of course, y'all know what kind of challenges we're having trying to get 3 little kids, because it's been through the whole family, except Blade has not really suffered much from it. And Tate is teething, and he's filling his Cheerios, but he hasn't been sick, and we're thankful for that. Now, for this Saturday, it's been 2 Saturdays since sickness really got started. This past Saturday, Cheyenne and Blade went to get some groceries and run some errands, and I kept the boys here, or kept Rowdy and Tate here. And Rowdy, I was cleaning the kitchen, and Rowdy fell asleep. And when I went to check on him, he was just drenched in sweat and burning up in a fever, which instantly, because he had been sick, it instantly stirred up that fear in me. So I got him up and came in and sat on the couch with him, and he got a little bit better, but then he started kind of getting groggy and wanting to go to sleep, and then waking right back up, and his fever spiked again. So I called the kids because I was worried that condition was that thing was gonna happen again, the seizures, because they can suffer with them till they're about 5 years old. Thankfully, Rowdy's not had another one, but I don't know that he wasn't close, or at least he was spiking a high fever, and that's what triggers the seizures. Not every time they get one, thankfully, because he didn't have one. But I was really worried then. But by the time the kids got home, his fever had went back down, and he didn't really have any more trouble that evening. They're just, you would think that they're just simply trying to get over a cold. In fact, I've coughed and sneezed and all the things myself. And so we just figured it was that. But then the doctors, that's what the doctors prescribed, or that's what she
diagnosed.
That's what the doctor diagnosed, with no prescription except the fluids and the rest. And so, long story short, that's where we've been. A little bit of an illness, but nothing major, no major setbacks. Nobody's packed their bags and said, see you later. We're not mad at each other. We're not mad at you guys. We love you guys. Life has just said, hey, you got a lot of stuff on your plate. Something's got to move around a little bit. And so we hope and we pray that y'all understand where we've been, what we're going through. And hey, we're still on this side of things. We're still breathing. We're still happy that we have our YouTube family, and that y'all have been reaching out asking where we're at. And then I guess
we're back.
Now you know. But we're looking forward to getting some more videos out to you. We got some things coming up that we think are fun. Y'all might shake your head and say, you girls are nuts. But we think they're fun. And we almost got all those blankets caught up and all of those things that have been put off. And we'll get back to regularly scheduled programming. Anyway, guys, we love y'all. We really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. And until next time,
we're gone.